We found some frugal online savings tools for you, whether you're just looking to keep more money in your pocket every single month or you're looking to reach some great big financial goals. You'll find these calculators to be super helpful.
If you don't know us, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality. And today I think we have an especially practical one. These tools that we're going to show you will give you a very accurate picture of what you're doing in your budgeting.
And we should mention that all of these tools that we'll mention, we're going to have links for them in the description of the video so you can go and you can check them out for yourself. The first one is an energy usage monitoring tool. Now, we have the distinct advantage that our utility company breaks down our usage for us on a monthly basis, or we can look at it on a daily basis, or we can click on any hour of the day and get it down as far as quarterly hours. But if you're in a position where your utility company doesn't provide that information for you, and a lot of them don't, this online tool is going to help you at least be able to make some comparisons and figure out what frugality skills you want to use next month in order to lower your utility usage.
What I like about this one is that it breaks down the exact cost of every individual item that you have that uses power in your home, and it will tell you what it's going to cost you every week, every month, and every year to use that product.
The example that I used for this website is comparing the usage of a fan to turning on your central air, because that's always a question people have in their mind. Well, if you're using a whole bunch of fans, it's just as expensive as turning on your central air. Really, it's not, and we'll show you exactly why. If you have a fan, a standard table fan, a newer one, is going to use about 25 watts. Now, you'll need to know what you are being charged per kilowatt hour for your energy. You should be able to find that listed somewhere on your most recent utility bill, and if you don't know, call your utility company and ask them what that rate is. So plug that into the calculator, and it's going to ask you how many days or how many hours each day that you are using that particular item, and it is going to automatically calculate. It's going to cost you about 27 cents a month. No joke, to use that fan. Now, our energy usage rate is fairly low. It's around 9 cents per kilowatt hour. If yours is higher, it's going to cost you a little more. But let's see what happens when we turn on the central air. Once again, you can use the drop-down menu. You can select central air, and you can tell it you're going to use it 24 hours a day. And it automatically understands that it's not on that whole time, that it's cycling on and off. So it's taking that into consideration. And look how much it's going to cost you per month to run that central air.
$98.63. Isn't that amazing?
Huge difference.
Major difference.
Those. Yeah, play around with this calculator to figure out what your next move is on your frugal habits. And I think you'll find it super helpful.
What that tells you specifically is that you can use a few fans and be a lot less in your amount that you're going to be paying that utility company than if you use your AC.
And speaking of fans, we love our fans. And we would love it if you'd scroll up and give this video a great big thumbs up. That's helpful to us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you are not already subscribed to Under the Median, this is a great time to take care of that too. Second price comparison tool that we'll talk about, Camel, Camel, Camel. I know it sounds weird, doesn't it? I have no idea why they called it Camel, 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 and yet they did. I use this comparison tool generally around the holidays when I'm looking to find something and I want to know when it's going to drop to the lowest price. Particularly Camel, Camel, Camel is designed to track prices on Amazon. It does a pretty doggone good job of doing that, guys, even in the midst of the incredibly busy Christmas season when prices are changing like, I don't know, like every hour or something like that. Yeah.
It also shows you their popular items and their biggest drops in price.
Camel, Camel, Camel has tracked prices pretty accurately for me. It's free to sign up, and you can tell it specific Amazon products that you're watching. It'll shoot you an email when that drops in price. Honey, by the way, will do exactly the same thing for you. We like Honey. We'll make sure that there's a link for Honey and Camel, Camel, Camel in the description of the video. App number 3 that you want to take a look at, this is online calculator. This is grocery cost calculator. We are looking to drop what we are spending every single month on groceries. But how do you know if what you're spending is actually in line with maybe what you should be spending. Now, the USDA has a tool that's available. It used to be so easy to navigate. It was so intuitive. You could go on there and tell in about 30 seconds how much money on average a family your size was spending on groceries. Not so anymore. They changed it. I do not know why. It's not as easy, but there is an online calculator that is super easy to use, and it uses the USDA numbers in order to make their calculations.
How about that? The one that Hope found is from the Iowa State Cooperative Extension Services, and this is a real easy tool to use. It gives you very quick results.
Wants to know each family member's age. It wants to know how many meals they eat away from home, and it wants to know their gender. So you plug that in for each family member, and you hit calculate, and it's going to tell you, according to the USDA, how much on average that you would need to be spending on groceries in order to achieve a well-balanced diet. So, spoiler alert, we spend a lot less than the USDA says that we should. We plugged in all of our information for all 4 of our family members, and it came up with $1,029 a month. That's what the USDA says. So if you want something fun to play around with and look at, that is a super fun calculator.
If you're really frugal, like Hope and I happen to be, this will really make you feel good about what you're spending on your grocery budget.
Now, here's something that some people don't realize about those USDA calculations, because I've read a lot. Like I've read large reports put out by the USDA about grocery prices just because it's my thing. The USDA has a certain basket, if you will, of goods that it purchases every single month. And the USDA calculations are made for specifically urban areas. It's not designed for those who live in rural areas, just so you know. And it takes into account not at all any items that you might find on sale, that you might find loss leaders, that you might find on clearance, that you might find that you buy in bulk. None of that is in the USDA calculations. It's as though the USDA had its own grocery list and walked into a grocery store once a month and purchased every single item on their list at full price. That's how they come up with those numbers, because we had a lot of questions. Recently, we did a video about groceries and everybody was like, how in the world do you spend that kind of money? That is how you spend that kind of money. So now you know.
Let's talk about water usage next. And just like our light company, our water company lets us monitor online exactly how much we're using per day and what time of the day that we're using that item. So we can very easily determine what it is that we're doing that's costing a lot of money in using the water.
We can monitor it down to hourly usage. So let's just say we decided we were going to do a couple loads of laundry. We could look in a couple of hours and it would show up on our utility company website, and it would show us how many gallons of water we used in order to wash those 2 loads of clothes. But if you do not have that sort of information available, I went on the hunt for you to find something that came up to a pretty doggone close approximation of what we use in our water usage. And so I would know that it would be pretty accurate, and I found one for you.
This is from the Southwest Florida Water Management District. And once again, it breaks down exactly how much you're going to use when you just turn on the faucet to brush your teeth. And I'll tell you what I was amazed at. I was amazed at how much water we really do use a month. It is an amazing amount, a lot of water is what it really boils down to.
As always, all of these tools that we are showing you today, they are designed to make you aware of what and how you're using these products. And once you have that awareness, you can figure out how you're going to change your habits in order to use less of those products. I love this website because it's very engaging. It's very colorful in the way that it's done. You can go through and you can say how many showers you take per day. Now, I said 1 shower per day. Guys, there are 4 of us. And I'm like, we don't shower every single day. And I'm okay, so between all of it, I just put 1 shower a day because that was just the easiest thing to put on on this calculator.
Yeah.
It allows you to tell it, do you have a low flow shower head? If you do, you can look over on the right-hand side and immediately see the impact of
Amazing.
having a low flow shower head and what that does. And
Yeah.
it is far more impactful in some other areas than just taking showers. The average shower length it gave was 10 minutes.
That's way too long. We don't take nearly that much time to take a shower. We average about 5 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
We get in, soap up, rinse off, and we're out of there.
Yes, sir. All right. So then we also told it how many times
Toilet
a day we
flush.
flush the toilet.
Yeah.
It was very accurate on this. We know from experience that our older toilets took well in advance of 5 gallons just to flush the
amazing?
toilet every
5
single time.
gallons of water.
We put in 2 new toilets, very inexpensive upgrade,
Yeah.
and it now uses 2 gallons approximately per flush. And we knew that from watching our water usage already. That's exactly what it says on this calculator, this online calculator. For the most part, it gives you an opportunity, if it's available, to tell the calculator that you do have an energy efficient
Yes.
model that you're using, for instance, to wash clothing, or you have the opportunity to say you're using low flow shower heads. And you can click on that. Whether you do or not, you can click on the button
And see the difference.
to see what difference that would make.
You might want to install those if you don't have those in your home. Have your plumber come over, or if you're handy, go ahead and change out those faucets and put in those lesser use faucets. They do save a substantial amount of money.
Just for the sake of accuracy, the calculator said we use about 1,708 gallons of water a month for our family. That was a little bit higher. We use actually less than that,
Yeah.
but it was
Pretty close.
It was close. I think the last water bill I looked at was around 1,500 gallons. And so it was pretty close. But even a calculator like this, with all of the information our water company gives us, I would go to this calculator and play around with it to see what different strategies I wanted to try to use in order to reduce my water usage and thus, most importantly, my water bill.
Yes. Let's talk about putting limits on your spending. There are a lot of apps out there that will help you know exactly when you're reaching that limit, and that's very important. It's like your gas gauge on your car. When it's getting close to empty, you know you got to fill it up with gas, and that's the same with these apps. When they notify you, that means you need to slow down your spending very quickly in order to stay within budget. One of them is called You Need a Budget, and it will alert you when you're right at that threshold. And the one that we use from Dave Ramsey will give us a big red line when we're getting, when we
When we
close?
go over.
When we go over it. And we do go over once in a while. We'll go over sometimes. And that's okay. The next month, you just want to make sure you're going under to keep it balanced.
Yeah, and the nice part about that is when I see that red line, what that app is telling me is that I need to rebalance the budget so that I'm not spending more than I have available in any given budget category. But let's just say that you don't have that available. We found a really cool online calculator that we've been playing around with. And it's very, very insightful. The goal of this calculator is to show you the impact of your habits on how much money you're able to save. We plugged in groceries just arbitrarily. We said $1,000 a month. If that's what you're spending on groceries, you want to save 10%. We always say 10% because y'all know
It's easy.
We are huge. 10% is easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to cut stuff back by 10%. That's $100 a month. That's not that much money off of that grocery budget. Still gives you $900 a month to spend, folks. And yet, when you look at it, that's $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. We have told you repeatedly on this channel, do the math.
Yeah.
Look at what something is costing you monthly, multiply it by 12. By the same token, look at what you're saving monthly, multiply it by 12. Now, I went ahead and went through and I did calculations for saving on utilities and water and also eating out. And the nice part about this calculator is you can scroll all the way down. You put as many categories in there as you want.
Yeah, it keeps letting you add more to it.
Yep. You scroll down, it's going to tell you based on the savings goals in all the areas that you've entered, how much then you are going to be able to save on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and a yearly basis. The nice thing about the weekly basis is that's generally a very doable goal.
Yeah.
And for instance, if you look at cutting back your grocery budget by $25 a week or $27 a week, that doesn't seem like that much. But if you look at it and say $100 a month, you're like, I don't know, that seems like a lot. It's the same number. It's
Yeah,
just broken
pretty much
down even
is.
further. So you can
Yeah.
use this tool in a number of different ways in order to motivate you toward greater savings every single month and year. Love it. Now, not all savings habits are created equally. There are some habits that are going to help you to save money far more quickly than other habits. We did a video about our top 10 habits that are going to help you to rack up the savings quickly. That video is right over there.